Well, my dudes, what's up?
What? Bollocks. Ancestry composition 47.5% British and Irish. What? Bollocks. Ancestry composition 47.5% British and Irish. This is very strange. It's saying 99.9% European. That's the good news. But Africa is present. Africa is illuminated in this world map. So presumably that's it then. It must be 0.1% African. Nice try. Okay, so let's see. This is it now. This is the... Okay, so we can just discount the Africa thing. So now, see all 31 tested populations. Oh no, I've got to click on the European thing, so I'm doing that now.
Uh-oh.
Oh, fuck me. Oh gosh. It says 90% Northwestern European.
Is that good or bad for him? I'm not actually sure. Does the 10% make him want to kill himself?
Fuck! It says 90.2% Northwestern European. Oh, that's so... Oh, thank God. I mean, it's not 97 or 99%, but still, that's fantastic. Oh, they've gone easy on me here.
Whew. Imagine being so worthless in life that this is such an important thing to you. Whew. I would feel bad for the guy if he wasn't such a massive piece of shit. Rep. Yeah, let's get that real loud.
Oh my gosh. Are you serious?
Why?
Oh my.
Make them proud.
Okay. It's too early for these memes. Alright, I think I'm doing 2 hours of Nier. And then I finally have a fucking haircut. So that I can get my hair under control. Wow, thanks for the write-up, Vandal. You can always just fuck off, dude, if you're too scared. It's okay to leave and go to another community, my dude.
Please dye your hair blonde so you can go on Twitter and berate the skeptics for being beneath your Aryan visage. What Roth IRA to put my money in chat? Nathan thinking.
FYI, Destiny, what I already predicted would happen is happening. My prediction was that engaging with race realists in the same way Destiny's engaged other topics in the past is going to have a dramatically different end result. While I appreciate him going on the biology route and actually bounding himself in a lingual grasp on the science, you can see in Destiny's tweet chains that he's earned himself a core of race realist followers that will tag along to his every statement and shove their apologetic, environment-denying statistics into our faces in an attempt to bully us away from the conversation, such that I'm not going to respond much more to Destiny's tweets if they relate to the topic. Is this all one sentence? Holy shit. In the subreddit, I've seen more race realists popping out of the woodworks, and people who were silent about it now coming out in full defense mode and white knighting for fascies. Waldemar has always been here being retarded. What do you what do you want me to say, dude? There has always been some of these race realist dudes that like follow around my subreddit and my tweets. Like, come on, my dude. The fact of the matter is that these people push clips of statistics at us at unheard of rates. Some of it is legit, some of it is shit, but all of it is taken out of context, and rarely are the proper articles they're taken from linked. This is the nature of apologetics, and unlike young Earth creationists who have no grounds to stand on, race realists are using the lack of scientific study on the topic to prop themselves up as authority figures. In short, Neo Destiny's current target audience is being bullied out into uncomfortable territory that most of us aren't equipped to deal with, such that there is a risk many of us will just go silent in the future, and eventually he will find himself surrounded by only race realists pounding on his door wanting to talk to him about the light of Jesus Christ, except replace Jesus Christ with the genetic inferiority of non-whites. In some ways, it's like dealing with young Earth creationists, and that they adopt science but don't really adopt science to arrive at the answers they want. But unlike creationism, race realism is one of the topics that science just never talks about, or at least not very often. So we don't have a dearth of solid counter-arguments, save for intelligence just isn't technically studied field, and it's very much soft science. If it was a bunch of young Earth creationists, I'd be having a laugh because their subject is laughable, but now it's just getting depressing, watching propaganda getting pushed in my face, a metric ton of it, that I simply can't grapple with because most of it isn't sourced in the people arguing or not being honest or charitable. So do you just cede the whole argument then, Vendel? Is that it? You just admit that, like, well, I can't ever counter any of what they're saying, so goodbye. Is that your goal? Because I haven't seen anybody, like, in the YouTube community, like, really step up to these people like Jeff or the all hype and, like, actually grapple with this material that much, or especially in a live setting. If you've seen it, then feel free to source it to me. Why don't they just challenge the argument? Yeah, I mean, I know it's complicated, but I figure why not dive into it since nobody else seems to be putting the time and attention into it.
international twin states. Eichsfirth was not an international twin.
Dealing with race realist apologetics is a slog, so my suggestions were to go at this secretly and not confront them until you're ready with loaded shotguns. Why is your mind so fragile that people countering you or people throwing shit at you like makes you so uncomfortable? Like, I would rather bleed off people that are that insecure, and then maybe help other people become more secure in their opinions as a result of that, than to just shove all of it under the carpet and go, I'm really scared about talking about this because other people are really hurting my feelings and making me uncomfortable. Like, that's the antithesis to every type of person I would hope to ever build on this stream, right? That if you listen to me at the end of the day, hopefully you get a couple things from me. I would never. This is like the exact opposite of anything I would have ever done in my life. Like, all right, guys, I'm going to do research on this topic, but this is a really scary one, so I'm just going to do it like off stream, like in really private times, because I don't want you guys to get really uncomfortable. Like, we just spent 2 weeks like debating about fucking pedophiles. Like, why would I do this for race realism? And I mean, like, fuck, like, assuming we make it all the way through this bio course, look, we've gotten like 2,000 plus people to listen to an entire intro course on human biology and genetics or whatever. I mean, I think that's pretty good. Like, I would rather that than shoving it all under the carpet and being like super scared and. Wouldn't a counter argument be to your statement that you losing the arguments to race realism possibly empowers those ideas? Okay. So my purpose is to find out what is true, okay? I think that some of you guys have my philosophy backwards, so let me enunciate this real clearly right now, in case some of you, okay? I do not bend the facts to pursue some social agenda. That will never, ever be me. Ever. Never, ever, okay? So right now, there are a lot of you here that maybe agree with me because of my social positions, but I don't take these positions in advance and then try to find data to fit it, okay? That's not how I approach any of this. So if some of you are uncomfortable that maybe by the end of our research we found out, oh, well, maybe there is some basis for difference in IQs between groups of people or whatever. If that reality makes you uncomfortable, so uncomfortable that you can't pursue that information, then go watch somebody else. Because there are always going to be topics that that I look into that will make you uncomfortable, that we're going to vehemently disagree with in the end. That's not the kind of person that I would want watching my stuff ever. Yeah. So this idea that like, I don't know if some of you think that like, oh, well, Destiny is a progressive, and like this is his positions, and he does really good work in backing these positions up. That's backwards, right? I hold the positions I do because it's usually where the data like takes me to, right? So when you talk about something like immigration, it's not because I love all Hispanic people and love all black people and all that shit or whatever that I want immigration and open borders or whatever. It's because the data generally points to this being an advantageous thing for the entire country. Also, keep in mind that the race realist argument is two separate arguments as well, and the philosophical one has never been made that we need to segregate people either. Even if we come to the end of our studies and it seems like, okay, well, there might be some basis for a difference in intelligence between groups of people with a genetic foundation that could be possible, that doesn't end the philosophical argument of what should we do, right? There are always two sides to a problem like this. You have the scientific is and then the philosophical ought. If we discover scientifically that, okay, well, maybe there is some racial basis for a gap in IQ, that doesn't all of a sudden mean kill all black people, right? You still have to address the philosophical side of things, which is an argument that no race realist has ever made successfully, because most of those arguments are rooted in complete and total ignorance, right? The idea that you could segregate massive groups of people on the planet isn't very realistic. It'll probably never be done realistically, and it probably isn't even for the benefit of everybody to do it.
This is just like the people who can't accept the nature versus nurture debate with homosexuality, just because we have shied away from researching such topics due to political correctness doesn't mean there isn't a time we shouldn't start.
I made this argument versus reactionary Catholic, and you got mad as fuck at me for pointing out that race realists don't actually care at all about Q. They care. I don't know what you're talking about. You would have to show me exactly what you're talking about, my dude. That reality isn't uncomfortable. I've considered it, and I don't give a shit. The problem is similar to one you've said about having nuance in regards to what you've said. Say, booby streamers, when you say race may have a correlation with IQ, you suddenly find yourself surrounded by racists frothing at the mouth. The problem right now, though, is that nobody has any arguments to give. Like, we can all point to these general vague bullshit things, but until you actually dig into the data and actually engage with it at some level, you have nothing to say. Does that not bother you? This bothers me, okay? As somebody that wants to have answers to things that I talk about, when somebody poses a question to me that I can't answer, that bothers me. I mean, I learned so much from my immigration shit, and we only spent really a couple days researching that. It's not hard to gather this information. Sure, we might have to sink some hours into it, but it's my fucking job. I play video games all day. I'm a streamer. What else would I do besides and debating and politics and policy and social issues and all of these are important to me? Why wouldn't I sink some time into this, right? And I took a lot from the Fuentes debate, even if the second one was kind of a shit show because he's a fucking idiot. Like now, anytime somebody mentions something like the Kalergi plan or the Houghton plan to me, I can immediately disregard it, and I can do it in an exact way, right? That the guy that founded the Kalergi plan wasn't a politician, had no political basis, had no political influence, had no program that he created, that the Houghton plan was a crazy thing written by an anthropologist submitted to a fucking magazine and had nothing to do with black people. Or I can specifically say these things now because I've read into it. So why not read into things that are related to the race realist argument? So if somebody pops out a certain question, oh yeah, well what about that thing? Instead of being like, oh no, it's too scary, I can't, the data's bad, I can't listen to it, I don't want to, right? Instead you have a specific thing to say in response, right? Oh, you bring that up, but it doesn't actually work like this, right? Even the little bit that I've learned about heritability, right? I'm pretty sure it was a clip from the same dude. It might have even been from the same lecture series. Even the little bit that I've learned about heritability has allowed me to throw that argument back in the faces of some people, where somebody might say, well, Destiny, actually, the heritability of IQ is probably around 0.7. Not sure if you knew that or not. And it's like, okay, that's cool, but heritability of IQ doesn't address the differences between IQs and populations because heritability doesn't speak to how malleable a trait is based on environment, right? Just knowing that little piece of information, I shut down half the race realist dumb fucks that try to talk to me on Twitter or in DMs or on Reddit or whatever. Just knowing that little itty bitty piece, right? So why not put together a greater body of knowledge on it and then engage some of these people in these conversations so that when people watch it, if they see people make these arguments, they can always start to spit out oh, well, hey, I remember this thing that Destiny said about this thing, and this doesn't work about this, and this doesn't work about this, right? So why not just do that? I don't know why I wouldn't engage with it. I don't know, Harkton. I have to look into that stuff more. The race realists have been caught consistently misrepresenting studies, and the authors of studies using explicit. Okay, then show me the YouTube videos of popular people on the left going up and debating people like JF or alt hype. Can you link me those YouTube videos that have more than 200 views on them?
At Destiny, that is exactly right. That is the number one thing I love about your stream is that it equips me to combat this stuff, not join IT for the sake of just hearing about LOL. To find the truth, correct? Regardless if you're right or left. Less than 3.
Thanks, buddy.
So sad right now. Look at my nephew. Why are you wearing a princess dress? Is this what you got for Christmas? Why did you ask for a princess dress for Christmas? Boys don't wear princess dresses!
Nice, man. I don't disagree. You're also misinterpreting. I'm not scared about you changing your mind on the nature of the data. I'm just frustrated. I'm seeing the same thing I saw happen to the audiences of centro skeptics potentially happening to this audience. I don't know what to say to you, dude. I'm sorry. Okay, I'll just restate it for the final time. My primary goal is to know things. I want to know things that are true. That's always going to be the centerpiece to what I do. Maybe in the future that'll change. If that makes you uncomfortable, then maybe if you like, some people are under the impression that I try to serve like the public discourse, or that I should be changing my rhetoric in order to get like a more positive social message out or some shit. That's not typically what my goal is. I have my goal in most of my conversations is usually to move towards things that are true and to discover things that are true, and then to show people how to make arguments that are rooted in truth. That's usually like my goal. That's what I want to do. Yeah, that's it. That's like my number one primary thing. Maybe in the future that'll change, but I have no intention of changing that right now. Okay. Yeah. I disagree with this idea that my fan base is going to become like all race realists in like a month or two because we spend time looking into these arguments. Like, again, like even looking into these arguments, it's not like race realists have made the philosophical argument either that we need segregation, even if there are differences in people anyway, right? I hope you will tackle the two biggest assumptions you make regarding race realism while studying this, that IQ and race is real and malleable. So I'm pretty sure that most people think IQ is a decent approximation of G. I've never, ever seen anything contradicting that, ever. As much as I would like to attack, because that's the easiest way to attack race realism, is attacking the idea that IQ tests are a bad way of measuring intelligence, I have never seen that borne out in any legitimate study or meta-analysis anywhere ever. I've never seen that. Most people, academically, from what I've seen, seem to believe that IQ tests are a decent way of measuring G. That seems to be what most people say. That IQ is incredibly highly correlated with a ton of different things in life. That seems to be true. If you disagree with that, feel free to throw up some studies or some shit. As far as race being real, I know that there are populations of people that can possess certain genetic traits. That's about as real as I've heard. That race can exist insofar as population genetics and ancestry can be predictive of some things, like medically. But yeah, I mean, the idea that there's like black people and white people and Hispanic people is a very, that social idea is not really well founded, but that there are like ancestral things that are related to a lot of random fucking topics, not like... What do you mean with G? I don't know. G is the hidden variable that is a measure of our intelligence, I guess. What do you say to someone like JF that does not want to create a segregated society based on IQ? JF is an idiot. I don't know what I would say to somebody like JF. The problem with JF is that JF will regurgitate whatever, I guess, he thinks. I don't know. JF is a useful idiot, but he's not an idiot, which is the saddest thing. The problem is that JF will get up and defend people that are saying that by tentatively agreeing with their platform without having any responsibility for what he's saying. That's the problem with JF. But that's consistent with his retard libertarian philosophy where no person is responsible for any anything except for ultimately themselves
Race
or whatever.
realism must be Schwetzsteiny for Nazis. Either it's bullshit and you are the same as blacks, or it's real and confirmed inferior to Jews.
The problem with JF is that somebody like, I don't know, like a race realist will say that like, oh, well, this fact is true. Therefore, all blacks need to be exported. All Hispanics need to be exported. White ethno-state. Whites are better than blacks. You know, Hispanics are better than blacks. Asians and Ashkenazi Jews are better, right? And that somebody will come up and they will challenge this. And then JF will come, oh, well, he's right about this thing. He's absolutely right about this thing. He's 100% right about this thing. He's totally 100% correct about this thing. Right here, right here, right here. With no commentary on any of this. And then he'll sit there and be like, how can you say I defend race realism? I don't agree with this necessarily, but then he never talks about this. He only focuses on how correct they are about this thing. Yeah, I don't like JF. I know that you're like his biggest fan, my dude, but I really don't like JF. Is there any evidence that shows differences between races in regards to ability to learn? That's a really hard one to answer, my dude. I don't think that that's really been demonstrated. It's really, really hard to tease out genetic causes from people that exist in modern society. That's such a hard question to ask, my dude. I don't know. Maybe we'll have an answer by the time we finish through all our fucking memes. Okay, can I just play near? Can I run around with my Asian waifu and go chop things up now? Are you really sure that Jeff is useful? It seems to me he knows exactly what he's doing, and his dog whistling pretty hard. I mean, his study about Sargon was to... I can't tell. I don't even like to guess. Honestly, like, if you were to hold a gun to my head and make me ask, like, if you were to ask me to, like, make a judgment, I would say that Jeff is fully aware of what he's doing, that he is intentionally disingenuous, that he intentionally puts himself into bed with these types of people. That's what I would say, but, I mean, I can't really, like... It's hard to make that argument, right? Because his defense is always going to be, I don't know how language works, except he'll say that in smarter words. So, I mean, and it's just not an argument that I think is worth having. To try to inductively reason out, like, what is going on inside the head of a person is, like, it's pretty difficult to do.
Back on the issue of net neutrality.
If we just discard debating race realists, can you explain to me why it is important / why it is good to know differences in IQ between races? Well, it depends on who's asking the question, right? If somebody like alt-hype or somebody is asking the question, then they probably want to know the differences so that they have a legitimate argument to exclude these people from society, right? I want to create a white ethno-state, and the reason why is because blacks and Hispanics are really stupid, right? That's generally the point of view that ethno-state or race realists would take, right? I would argue that understanding these differences could benefit society and that you could target these people with different types of things. Target these people with different types of things. That's really vague. So an example that I will give will be dyslexia, right? Dyslexia is kind of seen as a negative. It's a learning disability, or I shouldn't say learning disability. It's something that hampers your ability to read. However, if you identify early on that a child has dyslexia, you can tailor an education to them that will help them not only overcome it, but make it almost irrelevant, I think, in that a person with dyslexia, past 8th grade can read at any level that is the same or better than any normal person that doesn't have dyslexia. because you identified early, you tailor the education to them, and then you do that. So if you can identify that there are different ways that people learn, and even if we hypothesize that might be tied into race, that black people or Hispanic people or white people learn somewhat differently, right? If you're able to identify that, then you can tailor education to people in ways that helps them more than if you were to just do like a one size fits all thing,
They are through.
I don't know who this guy is. I'll message him when we get through this thing, but. What fits your definition of Hispanic? I don't even know what the fuck Hispanic means, dude. I don't know what any of those words mean. Because every time I bring them up in chat, everybody gives me different definitions. I think Latino means somebody from Latin America. I don't know what Hispanic means. Someone of Spaniard origin? I'm not entirely sure. I don't know what Hispanic. What is the technical? Does anybody know? What is the technical definition of Hispanic? Someone said Hispanic is Spanish speaking. I don't think that's true. Wait, Hispanic is someone who comes from a Spanish speaking nation? Races are super arbitrary, and that is one reason why there is no good kind of. Races are kind of arbitrary. It just depends on what exactly it is you're talking about. Like, there are genetic markers in certain groups of people that can lead you down, like, medically accurate stuff. Like, African Americans, I think, tend to be predisposed towards, like, sickle cell anemia? That doesn't sound right. Sickle cell anemia, I'm sorry, typically occurs at much higher rates, I think, in African Americans. And there are other things... there are other diseases that different genetic markers in certain groups of people can point towards. So it's not 100% arbitrary, but generally our social distinction of like he's black, he's Hispanic, he's white, those can be those are pretty arbitrary usually. Oh god, a captain special. What is it, boys? I have to leave in like an hour. How mad are you guys? We're not even going to play that much new. I'm getting my haircut at 4:30. 2,000 gems for $1. You know I'm buying that shit. It's your boy, Deep Stacks Destiny. Oh, wait, we don't need woods anymore. Damn, look at all this shit. What the fuck? This guy doesn't mind his shit. Where do you even start with something like this? How Jewish is America? Rip. Just send like some fucking hot as fuck white girls to go seduce them all and then dilute the gene pool. What the fuck? Flophagus. The problem is that I have a fundamental disagreement with a lot of different content creators on the internet right now, where a lot of people seem to think that they have no, where a lot of people seem to think they have no influence over the communities that they build. Like, Lauren Southern will release a video saying, hey guys, stop hating women. And then when all the people in her fan base start coming out, it's like, yo, what the fuck, you stupid cunt, like, oh, stupid fucking bitch ass woman trying to, then everybody, then when they go, oh, you know, like, well, this is the fan base that you built, Lauren, and she's like, oh, well, you know, I can't help that. Or like when Sargon says, well, I can't help it if all of my fans are Trump supporters, like, that's not my fault, right? Or that when JF says, I can't help it if all of my arguments happen to be, you know, supportive of, you know, race realism and all that shit. Like, they act like they have no responsibility whatsoever to like, in terms of like the fan bases they build or the types of messages they get out. Shirley, you must be annoyed at all the out-of-context graphs and charts being shocked on all of your tweets. Okay, sure, but the same shit happened when we talked about immigration, my dude. Half-wit inventor. How do I get over there? Treasure hunt at the castle. I don't even know which direction I'm supposed to leave because there's no compass in this fucking game. Your Discord and subreddit is full of comrades? Yeah, sure, it happens, and I understand that, but dude, don't act like I don't spend every second, like, Every time I engage with these people, it's usually negative. Like, do I have like some level of like commie whatever things on my Discord or some shit? Yeah, sure, but I don't think the majority of my fan base are socialists, and I think the majority of my fan base knows pretty well where I stand on issues like socialism and communism. I think I can pretty safely say that there is no ambiguity about my views on that. Where does this take me? I think you have a fundamental misunderstanding of socialism in general due to that one extreme meme. Yeah, I know, my dude. I have it all wrong, and
Hey, buddy,
everyone else who
keep
talked
up
to me
the
had
good
it all
work.
wrong, and you're gonna come
Your
on
shit
and
posting
you've got
makes
the
my
exact
day.
right. I know, dude.
Love from an irrelevant country in Africa.
Well, thanks, buddy. Race realism has a unique position in that there's just not much out there. Immigration has been studied to death because it's an important factor. Race realism, however, far less so. Well, then learn those arguments. Maybe there's like a killer bullet question that a more educated person can ask then, right? And then that's my goal, is to become that more educated person. Like, okay, well, if you think that race realism is true, then point to this or show me where this has been demonstrated, right? And maybe that's the killer question. And then you become familiar with it. I don't know, maybe that is, maybe it isn't, maybe it's not, I'm not sure. But like, but if you could get to that point, right? Because I'm at that point with immigration. I'm very confident that I could go on Fox News and argue about fucking immigration to this point, right? You think that immigration is a net negative to society? Show me. In what ways, right? And I know the arguments that most of them will make. Well, in some studies, immigration could have a negative fiscal impact. Okay, fiscal impact is not the economy, right? And fiscal impact is something that we accept anyway, right? When we do things like stimulus packages, that's a negative fiscal impact for the growth of it, right? I could do these arguments to death against pretty like decently intelligent people. But for race realism, I don't know fucking anything, and it seems like nobody does, right? So maybe when you do the homework on race realism, then you come up with like, you know, a couple of questions where it's like, well, can you show me this thing? And then they're like, well, and it's like, okay, well, that would be a pretty important thing to show me if you're trying to make an argument, right? But I don't know those things because I don't have that background yet. What do I have left for quests? I'm sorry. Okay, reclaiming the forest. Where do I need to go for this? This is the forest, right? Is it here, maybe? No. Good luck, Fandol. I love you, buddy. Be careful. You didn't debate JonTron, you screamed like a man-child? I didn't really... Go ahead and link me in the debate with JonTron where I screamed like a man-child. I didn't debate JonTron because JonTron didn't have anything to debate. He was woefully uneducated and completely unprepared for the topic, and probably more than a little bit racist in his approach to things. Ah, here it is. Okay. Forest Zone Center. How many of the lectures have we done? I think we did part 2 yesterday, so it's 3 tonight. Wow, and you're such an expert. Just 2 seconds ago you said you didn't know. Didn't know what? I have watched all the lectures some years ago. Tangle 10. Does it get more dense, or is it going to all be this easy? Or like this, like basic? I'm hoping that it gets, there's like more information later on. Have you ever thought about taking the position that IQ is a silly indicator of intelligence, which is hardly... I would have to look into it more. I've never seen anything that says it. Somebody was linking earlier some Science Direct thing. There might be better ways of measuring intelligence, but I've never heard anybody say that IQ is, like, bad at doing it. That, like, there are these massive... Like, I hate to make this comparison because it invites so much fucking autism from chat, but it seems like IQ is somewhat similar to like BMI, and that it's a pretty good indicator for most things in general, but like maybe at the extremes it falls apart, or there might be exceptions, or there might be better ways of measuring it. So for instance, like a better way of measuring somebody's health instead of BMI would be like body fat percentage, like actually measuring that would be better. But the BMI in and of itself is like a pretty decent indicator of like a somewhat decent indicator of like whether or not they're at a healthy weight. So like somebody that has like, it's very, 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 so here are 2 statements that I think I could make with some level of certainty, okay? It is incredibly unlikely that somebody that is like 2 standard deviations below the norm for IQ is going to be very intelligent in any measurable way. It's very unlikely, or any demonstrable way. It's also very, very unlikely that somebody that is like 2 standard deviations above the norm for IQ is going to be very unintelligent, right? I think that those are 2 fair statements to make. Yeah, the Raptor, that was always a big problem that I had in high school, and it's one of the reasons why I got away with not studying so much, which fucked me in college probably, or in even some high school topics, is that like I can deal with concepts really well, but learning formulas and everything is a bit more difficult for me. So like usually for a concept, if I hear it once or twice, it'll usually stick pretty well if I understand it, but for formulas, I have to sit down and hammer those out more. So I was a much better bio student than I was like a physics or chemistry student. Or I had to spend a lot more time studying like math and calc and shit than I ever did for like bio or psychology especially, right? Like I could hear like a topic and then like, oh yeah, you know, that makes sense to me, so I like understand it pretty well. But like for formulas and shit, I would have to go over for stoichiometry. I hated chemistry. Fuck that whole class. Yeah, maybe I have a very high concept IQ, but a very low formula IQ. I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. Is that a really good reason why America hasn't split all of its states into different countries in the sense that they could regulate everything on the state level? Not a meme question. Because integration is just so important to your success. What do you mean? Integration is amazing. Integration is so good. It's so good for so many different things economically and politically. Just when you're more integrated, your economy functions way better. Labor, supply of goods and everything can travel between borders better. This is the whole point of like the EU, or it's what the EU is trying to do, right? Like if they could better integrate the countries of Europe into one like unified body, it just improves everything. There's so much less friction. I guess I'm familiar mainly with the economic arguments. I don't know as much about the cultural or social shit or whatever. What is this?
月の涙と呼ばれる月の涙
いつの間に
この花月の涙って言うんです
Thank you,
ね
Cameron.
これを見ているとなぜだかわかりませんが巨大な
Giant boar.
イノシ
Is
シ
this
に
like a reference to Near
何度
One
も
or
その
something?
体を壊されてその それに胸のあたりがもしこのよくだからお願いします。ありがとうございます。もし月の涙を見つけたときはこの周波数に通信では。
Why don't you bring on a qualified academic to talk on stream with? I think that'd be interesting for all of us because the okay. How many people do I have here? I don't like giving these explanations if like everybody's not here. Is enough. Okay. Have you ever seen? All my examples are like music shit. If you go to a music masterclass, okay, something very strange will happen, okay? Something very strange will happen. The expected behavior would be you would give a lot of criticism to somebody that is really bad, and you wouldn't have as much criticism to give to somebody that is really good, right? This would be the expected thing that would happen if you were to go to like a master class where musicians are playing for somebody that's a professional to get feedback on their playing. That would be what you would think. Okay, well, if the guy, you know, gives you a ton of criticism, it's because you fucked up a lot. If the guy gives you a little bit of criticism, it's probably because your stuff was really good. You were pretty good, right? It's actually the exact opposite. It is so far in the opposite, for reasons which I will make clear, okay? If an amateur goes and plays in front of a professional musician, there's just not really much for the professional to say to the amateur. You know, like, hey, like, keep practicing. You know, you can work on, you know, a couple of these fundamentals really well, and once you start hammering that away, you know, you'll do better. That's like all you can really say to an, and this is probably true across every art, across every athletic discipline, pretty much across anything you'll ever do in your life, in computer programming, right, and everything you'll do, this will hold true. There's just not much you can say to somebody that's a huge amateur, you know, like, keep working on your fundamentals, practice your scales, your breath, like all of that is will help you so much, you know. Now, when somebody that's really good steps up to play, well, now the professional has so much more they can critique, right? And in a master class, they'll usually say as much, like, I know that I'm giving you a lot of feedback but it's because I think you're so good that I can go into these like finer points, you know, like if you're really good and you play for a professional, they might say, you know, like, hey, like at measure 34, you know, there's this phrase, and I think that it's really similar to this phrase at measure 68, like they're one and the same. It would be cool if you could bring out using your phrasing, if you could show, like they might get like really detailed into shit like this, right? Or like, you know, like hyper-specific critiques about the way that you approach like your altissimo, you know, or the way that you, like these really fine concepts, you know? And again, like at the end of a masterclass, you might think that like, wow, he gave so much critique to that one guy and he didn't even say much to the other dude. Like that other guy must have been really good. It's the exact opposite. The more somebody knows, the more you can critique them, the more you can offer them, right? So the reason why I bring this up is because a lot of people say, why bother learning anything about bio at all? Why not just go find a professional and talk to them? The thing is that all of my questions would be incredibly basic and a waste of their time and a waste of my time and a waste of your time. Why would I bring on a professional to ask them things when I have no working knowledge of anything? I don't even have the vocabulary necessary to engage in these conversations. It would make more sense to get like a simple background in the area and then dig a little bit more specifically into the topic we're talking about. And then once I have that knowledge, then I can bring on somebody who's like, hey, so I'm familiar with this concept or this concept. Can you explain why this is or why this isn't or something, right? That's a better way to approach it, I think. Okay. I feel like I've given this explanation like 2 or 3 times on stream. Please clip this and throw it at people in the future when they go, Destiny, why not just bring on a professional? Ask them now. Don't you think that the base of white nationalism is racialism, which is identical in root with nationalism, tribalism, the root being an intense preference for the in-group? The only difference is where the line of cooperation, competition, in-group, out-group is drawn. If I'm a 1488er, I don't want intelligent East State. I don't know, dude. Oh, fuck. The Forest King is already dead. Why are these guys still fighting? So for what you just explained is why I think paying for coaching in games is a waste of time. Maybe. If you're really low level, probably. But if you're pretty high level, you could probably get a lot more out of it. But that's the ultimate irony, is that most of the people that pay for coaching are really low level, right? If you're not like top 1% in the game or whatever, then paying for coaching is probably a waste of time.
'Cause 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 'c
Well, like once you've hit like higher points, then. Are you serious? Did I jump too high? Why do you say worse things and more racist things than JonTron ever did? I don't think I've ever said anything more racist than what JonTron said. Maybe when I was a teenager, I guess. I don't know. Probably when I was a teenager because I was like a hardcore conservative. It wouldn't surprise me. I think I need to get up here somehow. Am I not supposed to ever get up here? I'm not supposed to ever get up here. Okay. Oh, okay.
これは月の涙。エミールさんに。
はい、なんでしょう。
月の涙を見つけました。場所は。
今すぐ行きます。そこにいてください。
そこにいろっていつまで。
お待たせしました。ああ、何か思い出しずっと昔。でも、そういえば。
人間を。
探してくれ別の場所を見つけ僕は
Destiny, I was conservative in most my stances. Since listening to you, though, I'm definitely more open than I was after hearing just the facts. Your willingness to take in objective stances on topics has let me hear ideas I would have ignored otherwise. Less than 3.
Wow, thanks, buddy. I try to be the master of objectivity. 今このためにあると思え。我らが森の王のため、森の王のために。What are we? Why am I even over here? No! Oh, I was in the air. Show breakdown video. Uh-oh.
I want to changing as before. I want to fix it as soon as possible, but I have to wait at least 6 months. So is so depressed. So torture.
Okay. I don't care. I don't know. Not a big plastic surgery, dude. I don't know. Never mind. Yeah, apparently her nose job fucked up and she stuck with it for 6 months. Rip. I don't think there was anything wrong with her nose before, but yeah, I don't know. Hey, yo, chill. Body dysphoria is a scary thing. If you're having massive body dysphoria over a nose, I don't know, my dude. I'm not sure. Hold on 1 second. Getting pretty bad frame rate drop.
Hey buddy, I studied mathematical logic and proofs. Really enjoy your debating style.
Wow, thanks,
Keep
buddy.
up the good fight.
Dude, upgrading this shit is really fucking hard. Holy fuck, where do you get pure water at? Or power up part? Update on the court case about Sargon.
So the first thing I wanted to start with here was an update in the Sargon of Akkad, or Aquila Hughes versus Sargon of Akkad case. You may remember that back in October or November, Morrison and Lee had requested default because Sargon had, quote-unquote, not responded. Well, there's been a series of updates in the case since then. starting with this November 24th letter from Michael Lee. This firm represents Akilah Hughes. Carl Benjamin claims to be represented by Wesley Mullen. Mr. Mullen has not filed a notice of appearance, but claims to be representing defendant. Defendant claims he was improperly served in England with the complaint, but refuses to accept service or provide his home address, and therefore is necessitating this motion. Well, that's a little bit of an overstatement there. Morrison and Lee, Michael Lee is trying to get good service on him, sure, but that doesn't mean that there's like any requirement. Like, I don't have to help my opponent serve me. There's absolutely no requirement, at least not until a judge issues some kind of order, and then again only if that judge has jurisdiction over the parties and the matter and the case and controversy and all that. So this is a tiny bit of an overstatement here, but let's continue. On August 25th, plaintiff filed the instant action against defendant. Plaintiff asserts a claim of copyright infringement. On September 11th, defendant was served with a copy of the complaint summons civil cover sheet, Copyright Office Form AO121, ECF filing rules and instructions, Your Honor's individual rules and practices via Federal Express, and pursuant to Rule 4 of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure. Defendant has failed to answer or otherwise move in response to the complaint. The clerk of court entered a certificate of default on October 11th. Pursuant to Rule 55, plaintiff is entitled to a default judgment. However, on November 13th, 2017, I received a letter via email from Mr. Mullen, the letter, asserting that service on defendant was improper. Plaintiff is only aware of one address for defendant and served defendant at that address, which he previously identified as his own. For plaintiff to be informed that this sworn statement was not true came as a surprise. Additionally, Mr. Mullen accused this firm of wrongful conduct in obtaining the certificate of default because the FedEx confirmation lacked a signature. Plaintiff expressly denies any wrongful intent in obtaining the default. Nonetheless, in the interest of providing defendant an opportunity to appear and defend this action, we responded to the letter and agreed to stipulate to vacate the certificate of default and asked if Mr. Mullen would accept service. In response to this request, Mr. Mullen claimed he was not authorized to accept service. This is normal. I do not accept service for many of my clients on purpose. Therefore, despite claiming service is insufficient, defendant has refused to provide an alternative address and is now willfully evading service. Instead of filing the order to show cause and wasting this court's resources if defendant is going to oppose based on lack of service, plaintiff would like to ensure that defendant was properly served. Defendant, who is located in England, was served pursuant to Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 4F2C2. In doing so, plaintiff relied on defendant's own sworn statement in his counter notice pursuant to the Digital Millennium Copyright Act that he was residing at the address to which process was mailed. So, what is Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 4F2C2? Let's take a look. Serving an individual in a foreign country. Unless federal law provides otherwise, an individual other than a minor, an incompetent person, or a person whose waiver has been filed may be served at a place not within any judicial district of the United States by internationally agreed means that are reasonably calculated to give notice, such as those authorized by the Hague Convention on Service Abroad of judicial and controversial fact documents. And there was actually a case this summer in the U.S. Supreme Court that held that you can serve people via mail if it is provided for in the Hague Convention and whatever their local law is. Permits service by process, service of process by mail, provided that the receiving state has not objected to service.
Steve, y'all fucked up getting the thinkery taken down. Should have let him catch a case or two first.
Gotcha.
By mail, and service by mail is otherwise authorized. The court has made it easier for plaintiffs commencing litigation in the U.S. to serve defendants located abroad. So what is service? Service is supposed to be the official notice of the lawsuit. It is a very
Cheers,
important
my dude.
step
Thanks
in
for
the
the top tier
procedure
meme
of
and
a
endless
lawsuit,
hours of
and it
entertainment.
sets dates and preserves
Here is to
the
many more.
notice
Abathur
of the
in
claims
5,
to
4,
the defendant.
3, 2,
So
1
if
Abathur.
Sargon's lawyer is responding that they know about the lawsuit and simply don't want to receive it formally, that almost sounds like they already know about it, and so they should just receive it formally. So a court could really agree that service is being evaded here. At the same time, you don't have any duty that I know of to assist the plaintiff in making their case, except maybe a little bit of discovery. But you don't have to show up somewhere and receive the documents by law or something. They have to follow the procedure and serve you properly. But apparently they can do it by mail. Sargon provided a mailing address, and they successfully mailed something to him. Now, is FedEx mail? I don't know. The judge might not agree that FedEx is mail. When I do service of process via mail, I use the mail. I don't use FedEx or UPS. I use the United States Postal Service and the official channels that goes through. But let's continue. Oh, yeah, I did want to go back there. On many occasions, the district court has permitted service by email. You can, and basically the rest of that is you can have service by email. And so this is a letter motion request for service by email. Then on December 5th, we get another letter from Michael Lee.
Holy
Defendant,
shit. Okay, hold on.
despite
Let me
being served with...
just do this real quick. Jesus. It's too many fucking voices.
So the first thing I wanted to start with, except maybe a little bit of discovery, but you don't have to show up somewhere and FedEx or UPS. I use the United States Postal Service and the official channels that goes through. But let's continue. Oh, yeah, I did want to go back there. On many occasions, the district court has permitted service by email. You can, and basically the rest of that is you can have service by email. And so this is a letter motion request for service by email. Then on December 5th, we get another letter from Michael Lee. Defendant, despite being served with process at what he claims to be in a sworn statement was his address, now claims this is not his address. They claim this is willful evasion of service and request that they be given permission to serve via email. They go into some more factual background, which I think we've covered. Since defendant has knowingly provided a false address on a sworn statement, and since receipt of the letter, plaintiff has performed additional due diligence and cannot locate an alternative address, plaintiff respectfully requests permission to serve defendant via email. Then they go on to cite the reasons why they think you should be able to serve via email. Basically, notice reasonably calculated under the circumstances to apprise interested parties of the pending litigation and afford them the opportunity for a meaningful response. That's what service is supposed to accomplish, which I think has been accomplished here. Sargon knows there's a lawsuit by now. Come on, guys, this is nothing new. So Morrison Lee or Michael Lee is understandably asking for expedition here. So then we finally get an on-the-record response. Your Honor, Wesley Mullen, I think it is. Let's just check down here. Wesley Mullen, yep. I represent defendant Carl Benjamin in the above captioned matter. I write in response to plaintiff's letter motion for an order permitting service by alternative means. He is not willfully evading service. Plaintiff has simply failed to properly serve him as required by Rule 4. Mr. Benjamin is a UK citizen resident in the UK who is not subject to personal jurisdiction before this court. He has no interest in assisting plaintiff in abusing U.S. copyright law for the wrongful purpose of political retaliation. So I advised counsel for plaintiff in correspondence that preceded plaintiff's letter motion. These letters also set forth the basis for defendant's anticipated motions to dismiss and for fees under the Copyright Act. My client would agree to a Rule 4D1 request to waive service directed to the undersigned. Waiving service is definitely something that you can do, and it usually buys you time. When you waive service under Rule D here, you usually get 60 days for the waiver to be returned, and then 90 days to answer the complaint, something like that. So that aside, we're going to see what the judge does with that, because the judge then adds this paragraph here at the bottom. This is the judge's paragraph. As defendant appears willing to waive service, his date to answer or otherwise respond to the complaint would be 90 days after the receipt of the Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 4D request to waive service. Defendant's waiver of service would seem to moot plaintiff's Rule 4F motion for email service. However, if plaintiff would like to respond, they shall do so no later than December 11th. So then here's December 11th. Michael Lee responds, defendant forced plaintiff to make her motion for substituted service by refusing to provide a valid address for service. Defendant previously provided a false address. Yes, we've heard this before. And by refusing to allow his counsel to accept service on his behalf. Now in response to this motion, defendant suddenly consents to waive service without any explanation for the unnecessary delay. It sounds like they're upset that they didn't waive, that Sargon didn't waive service earlier. Despite defendant and his counsel's full knowledge that plaintiff was going to make her motion, they decided to waste plaintiff's and this court's time and resources. That said, in the interest of moving this litigation forward and avoiding any further delay and pursuant to defendant's consent, we shall direct a request for waiver of service pursuant to 4D, defendant's counsel for execution. So
pretty much Sargon dicked around for months and months and dicked around and didn't respond, and then finally, like, pretending that he couldn't get service, and then finally was like, oh, well, actually, I don't want service because this is bullshit. You don't have jurisdiction. Fuck off, right? Essentially.
Like they're a little bit upset here that Mr. Mullen didn't respond by waiving service earlier, and I almost wonder if this paragraph isn't calculated to also appease their own client, who might be a little bit upset that she has to pay for all of this. Then, we get this response from the judge on the 20th of December, just 4 days ago. Richard J. Sullivan, District Judge. The above titled matter has been assigned to my docket on December 20th. Plaintiff filed an executed waiver of service form establishing a date to respond to the complaint of February 13th, 2018. Actually, didn't we just see that that was supposed to be 90 days? Like, if I come back here to the thing that I forgot to show you before, I think it's 90 days if it was sent to a defendant outside the Judicial District of the United States. 90 days would be January, February, March. Right. So, whatever. The judge says February 13th. Accordingly, it is hereby ordered that the party shall appear for initial conference Friday, March 9th in Thurgood Marshall Courthouse, Foley Square, New York. It is further ordered that by March 1st, 2018, the party shall jointly submit a letter not to exceed 5 pages, a joint letter, providing the following information in separate paragraphs. 1, a brief statement of the nature of the action and the principal defenses thereto, a brief explanation as to why the jurisdiction and venue lie in this court, a brief description of all outstanding motions and or outstanding requests to file motions, a brief description of any discovery that has already taken place and that which will be necessary for the parties to engage in meaningful settlement negotiations, a list of all prior settlement negotiations, including dates, parties involved, and approximate duration of discussions, estimated length of trial, and any other information that the parties believe is helpful. It is further ordered that by March 1st, the party shall submit a proposed case management plan and scheduling order. The template is available at this link. Judge Sullivan. So that is what we can expect. Sometime in February, we can expect Mr. Mullen to answer on behalf of Sargon, and by March 1st, we can expect a complete letter to the judge with all of that information. It seems to me that service probably was pretty good under the new rules that the U.S. Supreme Court has adopted and supports. What's unclear is whether FedEx was good enough, whether FedEx without a signature was good enough, and that all might be moot anyway because the judge has found some middle ground on this service issue and a waiver has been issued. So that's where we are there. The case is going to proceed. It is not being dismissed at this stage. The case is going to proceed to where Sargon's going to have to either answer or provide a motion to dismiss, probably based on lack of jurisdiction. Jurisdiction, what would that be? Why did they sue him here in New York City? That's convenient for Morrison and Lee, but that is not at all convenient for Sargon. Does Sargon do enough business in New York? That venue is proper in New York City? Does he have enough personal business in New York? I don't know. We're gonna find out. We're gonna hear their arguments, one side and the other, as to why jurisdiction belongs there. And we might have a longer conversation here on the channel about minimum contacts and international shoe and all that, the cases that define how a court determines which court has proper jurisdiction, because it is super complicated and basically an entire course in law school.
God damn. Sargon in court. My dudes. He's not gonna be able to go to Kilroy.
聞こえてる。
廃墟都市に設置してある転送装置が故障したみたいです。このままだと地上活動に不具合があるので、時間がある時にでも修復をお願いします。
了解。
詳細はメールさせていただきました。よろしくお願いします。
報告。アクセスポイントからメール受信の連絡。転送装置が使用不可能な場合、データのアップロードなどに著しい不具合が生ず。
Has my case gone anywhere? I think the official cease and desist has gone out from my new lawyers now, so I think I'm just waiting on the response from her for that. Does her shop sell anything good? Like, am I supposed to be buying chips from her, or are chips that you buy from vendors always garbage? Oh, sorry, Millet's boy. Should we go up here and die to these guys again? Oh, I have a new chip. What happened to the old lawyer? Well, I sent out the last cease and desist I sent out on my own. And this one. Some of the materials can be good to buy from, yeah. What are we doing? Oh, I got a new meme. %5 chance of reviving with 20% HP upon death. Is this a good meme? Do we want this shit? No, some guy. Make a post about it on my server. I feel like I've described like a million times why it's a bad idea to do that, but I'll do this one final time. I don't know how many more times I can say this. Destiny, rather than doing the relatively general behavioral genetics meme, it might be more productive for you to A, list the race realist arguments, and then B, watch lectures as necessary to develop an understanding of the topics relevant to each one. No, okay? So race realism is rooted in an argument in genetics, which is rooted in basic biology, right? Or it's rooted in biology. I'm not going to like look up hyper-specific things related to this without getting like a somewhat basic working knowledge of like biological concepts first, okay? I feel like I've said this like at least like 10 times on stream at this point. I don't know how many more times I have to answer that question. Like, it would be like if I wanted to argue about whether or not the Copenhagen interpretation or whatever of QM is correct, like, I wouldn't just watch a video on that. I would have to have like a working model of like physics and whatnot before digging into that. Does that not make sense? Why are those robots? Oh, they just spawned in, didn't they? How the fuck?
Stand up.
You want to go on the left? Oh, did I just fuck myself? So I want to go left, and then what? Run? Do I want to go left all the way around? Do you want the meme way to beat this? Yeah, if you got a meme way.
Stand up.
Thank you for that damage. Oh my god. This is really the way to go? There's a path instead of going on the buildings. Okay.
Stand up.
Do robots really travel slower when you have your thing on? Is that actually true? No way.
3、2、1、スタート。3、2、1、スタート。
Oh my god. This feels dirty. Oh no! What? Nope. Fuck that. Bad robot. Was this the one that had gone offline again? That one is offline. Are you having more fun playing this when you played Final Fantasy 15? This game is, the story of this game is already, even if it ended in the worst way possible, is already infinitely better than Final Fantasy 15. Holy shit. You need 20% move speed to do this easily. To do what easily? Are you talking about the quest that I just finished? Wait, what? You can only move so quickly? Really? Where can I see like my overall impact on my move speed? It doesn't show it on the status on the right. Do I need the text log? I have over 100 mentions on my fucking Twitter right now. Jesus Christ. Destiny, the speed star.
Bad Bunny
quest.
is annoying as fuck. Bonus meme.
Nice.
All weebs are pedophiles. Wowie.
The one I just finished that, didn't I, Desperado? Okay. Weapon attack is good. Cooldown is good, right? Evade range is good, right? Ooh. Alright, are we good? Bring me on stream. What's up? What do you want, Waldemar? Move speed is a waste? I like to move fast. Why? Oh wait, is there not a quick way to change your chips? I thought you could do this quickly. Fuck. Don't miss your haircut? My haircut is at 4:30. Huh. Did I save my game? I did, right? Oh, we did now. It's 4 p.m. right now. Didn't I say my haircut is at 4:30? The barbershop is literally 2 minutes from my house. Please shut the fuck up. Hup! Hup! Huh. Oh my god. Okay. Go away!
ざいました。
ありがとう。
目標地点の情報を入手。マップにマーク。
でも倒すべき機械生命体を修理するなんて複雑な気分。
情報はあればあるに越したことはないですよ。To be.
Fuck. It's all over, boys. I can't even meme about that. That's annoying as fuck. I'm sorry, Destiny. Wait, what? Wait, meme about what? You could ask Money about her views on income disparity or gerrymandering. For example, she just told me life is life and avoided the free will determinism. Hopefully she's just pretending to be retarded again right after you showed how fucking dumb she is. Don't you hate these? Holy shit! I'm pretty sure that Buddy's background is in like the fields that she studied. She probably just hasn't delved much into like most like social issues and whatnot. That's kind of what it seemed like from my conversation with her. I mean, I guess you can pretend that she's like literally fucking savage Hitler though if you want. I mean, if that makes you feel better. Why are these things like impossible to kill? Holy shit. Okay, never mind, I give up. You win, buddy. Is this where I'm supposed to be finding that enemy? Or is this the betrayer shit? Oh, fuck. Oh no. Huh. Oh, this. Do the black belt one? I think that one was gonna take me a long, long time. Yeah, don't call me Dusty anymore. Please call me Speedstar. Thank you.
報告。アクセスポイントからメール受信の連絡。
Holy shit.
報告。転送装置周辺に適正機械生命体。妨害電波を確認。推測。転送装置の不具合は敵の妨害電波に起因。推奨。
これで全部か。一応転送装置本体も調べてみよう。機能に問題ないみたい。
報告。転送装置の正常動作を確認。
こちら夜ハ部隊 2B バンカーオペレーター 6O に通信。
あ、2B さんお疲れ様です。
指定された転送装置を復旧した。原因は敵機械生命体の妨害電波。
了解しました。ありがとうございます。司令部内で情報共有しておきますね。あと特別報酬のデータをメールします。
了解。
でもいいですね 2B さん。いや戦闘任務は大変だと思います。ただ地上の綺麗な風景を見られていいなって、私もいつか降りられたらいいなっ って思うんです。
そう。
Okay, Vandal, submit your proof right now that Laldemar is a race realist. Go. Wow. Okay, pristine screw. I strictly said you come out in full defense mode when race realists near their head. Rear their head. Where did he come out in full defense mode? Link it. Link it, Vendo. Emil's memories. We're seeing screws are at the start of the prologue factory? Wait, really? Desert camp.
AAAHHH2B San Nathan Weeb.
The McDonald's Parmesan fries aren't that good. McDonald's is Parmesan fries? What? Fuck, I'm so young. Ah! Okay. Oh my god, I didn't see the bullshit of the other. I thought he was like rearing up for a hit. Stop yawning. Why don't you put single game playthroughs on YouTube anywhere? They just don't really get any views. I don't know if it's worth it. Fuck.
If flat Earth isn't real, then explain this.
Nope. Seems a lot of people in chat really got a bad impression of Bunny from a discussion about dating black people. I feel like you should have her back on and clear that up. Maybe. I mean, it's a pretty natural position to take if you've never really, like, thought about it much before, which I think was the issue. The problem, though, is that, like, doing that type of introspection, fuck me, is really hard on a stream when, like, everybody starts calling you a racist. It's probably, like, obviously I can do it. Because I'm enlightened. Just because I'm used to it, but, if you don't have that background, it's going to be pretty difficult. This is retarded. This looks like how I used to harass my little sister. Swinging your arms around like a retard. Now she's just a closet racist? Oh, maybe. I'm not even gonna get close to you. Fuck that shit. Oh, fuck me. Would you have more clout if you did prepared content on YouTube? Maybe. It would just take away from my streaming. It's really hard to find your body in this game. It doesn't, like, stick out at all. Oh, there we go.
このネジがあれば、あの大きな機械生命体を修理できますね。
Wow, good job. You need to melee those dudes' arms or legs. In between their attacks for massive damage. You play way too passively. Well, I had a body out, you fucking retard. Fuck off, Stin. I wasn't gonna risk dying. I'm losing my chips. People are waiting with their dicks in their hands for your podcast. I don't even know where the fuck I would upload that shit at. I don't know, dude. Yeah, I should. Only the most skilled player would ever be able to get back there.
Yeah.
Oh wait, can I get back there? Wait, what the fuck? Maybe there's another way back there? You have to go around through the caves? Where are the fucking caves at? You have to take a really long route through some caves behind you. Over here? No.
Yeah.
Where the fuck are these caves at? Gotta leave in like 10 minutes, guys. Go to the cliff edge. There's a cave path along the side. Where's the cliff edge? canyon on the right side as you enter the area from the city ruins. Wait, really? It's right there, right? I don't know. You're 20 seconds delayed, dude. I don't, like... Post a screenshot or something. I don't know why people say right there on my screen when I'm actively running, and they know that it's like 15 to 20 seconds delayed. On the map? Like, do you want me to go, like, down over here?
Knowing your personality, do you think something could realistically make you cry? Nowadays or in the future? I can't imagine you crying in my head. Physical pain excluded.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, if somebody, like, cut my arm off, I'd be probably pretty upset. I don't know. You can see it on the map right now. Thanks. L in the black spot with the L shape on the map. Black spot, L shape. Am I retarded? I'm not seeing an L shape. Hold on. Okay. Holy shit. Oh, cool. Random. Go left? Well, why? What's up here? Damn, Daniel. Keep your hair long? No, I'm actually gonna get my haircut super short. Super short. You know why? Because then I don't have to cut it again for a long ass fucking time. That's how I do my shit. Fuck that shit.
Hop.
Hop. What did Toothless Link? Is it worth looking at, or is he just retarded? Oh my god, it canceled my shit again! Why does it do it? Almost died to a level 10 machine. Feels good, man. Oh, didn't cancel that time. Thick dictionary. Thick. Is that a dictionary where every page is just a picture of... Nope. Not doing it. Is this... Are we... What the fuck am I even looking at? Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say Pokemon. But you know what? I didn't do it. We're better than that. Wait, do I jump? Is this like part of the maze? What? Why? Okay, we're going left. Wait, what's in here? Oh, first playthrough shit I can't do. Alright, good job, Waldemar. You've cleared your sullied name. And Vandal, you have tarnished your name by levying a false accusation. What have you say for yourself? The records show I didn't accuse him of being race realist. I just accused him of stuff like this. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Did I set up an appointment for 4 o'clock? For 4:30. Am I going the right way? Fuck. Oh, I think we're doing it now, boys. Wait. Do I want to go down there? We did it.
はい何でしょう
月の涙を見つけました。場所は
今すぐ行きますそこにいてください
そこにいろって。
お待たせしました
やっぱり早っ。
ああそうか昔僕はここで
エミールさん
きっとでも
Oh fuck, I skipped something.
それが何かは
I had something what to protect? I don't
探してくれ別の場所を見つけ僕は
There are more of these things? Okay, then I'm gonna get back to the camp base save point, and then I'll probably be back in like an hour. I think. I bought some huge gingerbread house thing to build with Nathan, so we're gonna build that after, or like a gingerbread tree thing. I don't know how long that'll take, but I think we're probably just doing Nier for the rest of today. Oh no, I have to do a little bit of Factorio because we'll listen to another one of those bio lectures. You're going to a barber or a hair salon? I go to a barber, dude. Oh, and we're also doing the watch giveaway tonight. Yeah, that's true. Which bio lecture did we listen to? It was number 2 yesterday. Today is number 3. Are we doing any debates tonight? I don't know. I asked that one dude on Twitter, but I don't think he was interested. You have to be in chat for the giveaway? Nope. You just need to go to woodwatches.com/destiny to sign up for it, and then we'll do the drawing there. I haven't wanted to say anything yet because I don't know like what the rest of this game will be like, but one kind of cool thing is that none of the side quests in this game so far I've seen like grindy, pointless, dumb missions or whatever, as opposed to like the Bethesda RPGs where all of the side quests is 100% trash content. Like all of these so far have been pretty interesting, I think. That's a good thing. I don't know if the rest of the game will be like that. There haven't been any like go hunt 15 monsters or whatever. Shit, 47 minutes. I just missed my whole haircut. All right. I'll be back in a while, mates. Be careful. Repreno, cappuccino, pappuccino, happuccino. Who do we host? Okay. Apparently nobody is streaming anymore, so... Wait, is our buddy streaming? Alright. Have fun, boys. Tell him I want to talk to him about his taxes, okay? And his finances. I could help him so much. Oh my god. Alright, I'll be back.